Fought well yesterday. Your style is unorthodox.
Scorpio.
Good morning, Yankees universe, and welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Tuesday, November 26th. Like always, I'm your guy, Hector, joined by my compañera this morning. I got the lovely Grace Monroe. Grace, it is a special episode today. I forgot to tell you backstage. Do you know why it's special?
Oh, tell me.
It is episode 300 of the Yankees Morning Brew. And
Oh
we want to give all you guys a shout out. Thank you guys for supporting us and watching us during this time. But 300 episodes, God, went by like that.
300 homers, just like Giancarlo and Aaron Judge and Anthony Serrano and who else? Man, we're up there. We're like Hall of Fame level now.
Yeah. Yankees Morning Brew. We're gonna keep rocking out 300 episode with my lovely co-host Grace Monroe. Damien couldn't be here this morning, but he does send his love to the chat. Damien said he is trying to make it back next week, so just cross your fingers. Shout out to our guy Damien. Shout out to everybody who is in the building as well. Gobble gobble. It's Turkey Week. If y'all celebrate that, happy turkey and gobbles. But shout out to the chat. Let's read things down the line. Jacob Petruzzi is in the building. Jacob, how you doing, my guy? We got Seth Stone in the building. How you doing? Of course, Grace Monroe. Got to shout out Grace Monroe. Alex Almonte is in the building. Alex, how you doing? We have Tina in the building. Shout out to Tina. Salute. And like the lovely girlfriend says, chat guidelines. No hate speech or bullying will be tolerated. If you violate YouTube terms of services or this chat's guidelines, you'll be removed from the chat without warning. We just want this to be a safe space for us to have good conversation when it comes to baseball. Shout out to my guy NFE in the strike zone. Shout out to NFE. He's been killing it over there, growing that channel, doing amazing things. NFE, my guy, I saw you live yesterday. I was at the gym. Just know I'll be listening to you while I'm at the gym getting my work in. So shout out to my guy NFE. James Devour is in the building as well. Grace,
yes.
How have you been since last week? Since the last time we've spoken, talk to the people.
I feel amazing now that Juan Soto has signed with the New York Yankees for a 12-year deal, and we've secured our future. I mean, I feel great. Just kidding. Nothing has happened. Actually, I did hear that 5 offers were sent in to Soto last night.
Mm-hmm.
So, the wheels are turning. I really think, y'all, I have to believe that Scott Boras has learned something from what happened last year, and he's going to get the Soto contract done as soon as possible so he can move on to his other clients so he doesn't have a Blake Snell, Jordan Montgomery situation happening again where his clients are not ready for the season and they're looking doo-doo and, Jordan Montgomery fired him. So I have to believe he's going to get this Soto contract done. We're going to be watching the airwaves this week. Y'all stay alerted, put your alerts on for our channel because when Soto signs, we're going to be going live. Doesn't matter when it happens, we're going to be going live. So keep your eyes on Yankees Morning Brew.
Absolutely. And Grace, she hit it right on the head. We'll be going live. And I just want to show something because I'm not sure. Juan Soto during this entire thing, my man is behind the scenes and he is trolling. I think something serious. He started following Yankee players again over the weekend, and this morning he released a video on his Instagram post. I'm not sure if you saw it, Grace. I'm just gonna play right here for the team.
This wasn't an easy decision.
Nuh-uh.
After meeting with a team, it became clear what I wanted to be. That being said, Team Celsius. What? You were expecting a different announcement?
Oh
This is what I tell you.
God.
He is having just as much fun as we are when it comes.
I actually love that. Dude, that is a elite level troll. Like, And good for him. He's having fun. He's young. He's got that spirit that everybody wants on their team. That's why he's Juan Soto. So good for him. Keeping it, good sense of humor. That's hilarious. I did not see that. I'm glad you showed me that.
Yeah, shout out to chat as well. We got more people in the building. Nathaniel is in the building. Nathaniel Cranshaw. Hi, Yankee family. How you doing? Roy Cabron is in the building. My guy Roy. How you? Eddie Snaps is in the building. Salute to you, Eddie Snaps. We got Sean Browning in the building. Dennis DeVal Jr., my guy DDV. Dennis, I got to link up with Dennis, man. I've been wanting to get Dennis on to talk Yankees baseball. This offseason, we're going to make it happen. Shout out to my guy Dennis. And again, shout out to everybody in the building. Like Jacob Petruzzi said, 300 episodes is crazy. Absolutely. So I'm going to need all you guys. We got over 130 people in the building watching us collectively across all platforms. If you guys can, click the link in bio, jump on over to YouTube and smack that like button. We are sitting at 15 likes on YouTube, so just smack it. Let's try to get as close to 50 as possible. But talking about Juan Soto, right? The rumors came out. It hit Twitter last night real late, like after 11 o'clock at night, and the Yankees have offered a contract to Juan Soto. Randy Millard, he put it out there, Randy Millard and other folks, that there's 5 contract offers to Juan Soto, and it's the Yankees, it's the Mets, it's the Blue Jays, it's the Red Sox, and it's the LA Dodgers. Grace, this Juan Soto watch-a-thon that we're going on right now, the Juan Soto watch, right? A lot of the times when you see it, well, for me, a lot of the reporting that's been coming out, it's been a lot of smoke and mirrors, right? But to see that on November 26th, the week of Thanksgiving, right, a couple of weeks before the winter meetings, there have been 5 contracts offered to Juan Soto. I bring that up to ask you this. When do you think an announcement would happen? Do you think it would happen before Gobble Gobble Day, after Gobble Gobble Day, or around the time when it comes to the winter meetings? What's your thoughts?
I think it'll be after Thanksgiving for sure. Because what's probably going to happen is, you know, we've got these offers, and then they'll announce at some point, okay, we've narrowed it down to these 2 teams. Yeah. You know, Boras will try to squeeze every last dollar out of the teams, that's his job, you know. But he will, you know, narrow it down, draw it out. It'll be after Thanksgiving, but it could be right at the start of the winter meetings or at the beginning of the winter meetings. I don't think he'll wait until after that. I think he's got too many other clients that he needs to be schmoozing about at the winter meetings. So he's going to want to have the Juan Soto thing pretty much wrapped up by then. That's just my feeling, you know?
No,
and I'm surprised the Phillies didn't make an offer yet. I thought the Phillies were going to be in there.
I always thought the Phillies were like a sleeper team. You remember last week when we were talking about it, I will put like the Mets, the Phillies, and the Yankees up there as the top 3 team. No specific order or anything like that. But yeah, I just want this fiasco to be over with, because the amount of notifications I'm getting on my phone, what's true, what's fake, like Jacob Petruzzi said, unless someone else reports it, I'm not believing a contract offer thing. Other people would be on it if it was true. I 100% agree with Jacob. Bob Nightingale came out over the past couple of days and said that executives around the league say that the Mets are favored to get Juan Soto. And if you remember 2 years ago, but the same Bob Nightingale, he put an article out there and said if he was a betting man, Aaron Judge would be with the San Francisco Giants, right? He's betting on Aaron Judge going to San Francisco. So Bob Nightingale was wrong back then. I'm not saying he's wrong right now, but you never know what's true. You never know what's fake. Like Jacob said, you just got to wait for the news to come out there. Right now, these reporters are just like myself and Grace. They're just trying to come up with stories to fill up time so we could talk content and we could talk Yankees baseball. That's literally just all it is right now. The winter meetings, like I said, are going to be the 2nd week of December. So it's like a dead zone when it comes to baseball. But I want to bring it back to Juan Soto and the contract, right? Because I see a lot of people saying he doesn't deserve this, he doesn't deserve that. Shout out to my guy Jacob. We had an amazing conversation last night on Twitter Spaces talking about a walkaway number, right? And for me, I want to play the video first, and then I'll get your take on it as well. But for me, I don't see there being a walkaway number for the New York Yankees. I just don't see that, because it's not. You have a superstar talent like Juan Soto, right? who is a game changer, who I feel is the best hitter in the league, but right next to Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani. Those are the top 3 hitters. But for me, Juan Soto represents something different. It represents a legacy shift, not just for the New York Yankees, but just in New York sports in general. Shout out to Anthony Medina down in the comment sections. When you look at it, if Juan Soto was rumored and was favored to go to the LA Dodgers or go to the West Coast, even some team in the central divisions, I would be okay with that. That would not be the issue. I just don't see a scenario where Hal Steinbrenner allows Juan Soto to go to Queens. That is going to be a pendulum shift in New York when it comes to sports, when it comes to the back pages. There is a legacy that is on the line. So when it comes to money, I don't think there's a walkaway number for that. So I have a video here with David Ortiz. It's from a Spanish podcast, right? A Dominican podcast. I have the translations on the video. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger so you guys can read the translation of it as well. And then when we come back, me and Grace will break it down.
Soto vale todo el dinero del mundo porque Juan Soto es el full package. Juan Soto es un tipo que en los peloteros latinos, el mejor profile, el mejor perfil que yo he visto en un pelotero latino tiene el muchachito a los 25 años de edad. Ese tipo viene de una familia que le ha dado una educación. Ese tipo es brillante. Habla inglés como que gringo, primeramente, para empezar. Pero su inteligencia en el juego y su madurez en el juego a los 25 años de edad, eso no tiene precio. Molu, eso hoy en día no tiene precio. Y de los números no te voy a hablar. Sus números están a otro nivel. Ese tipo para mí, él es el bateador más fino de Grandes Ligas. Libra por libra. El más fino. El conocimiento de la zona detrás de él está por encima del de Josh, está por encima hasta del de mismo Ohtani.
And David Ortiz, I know he was a Red Sox, but he's a Hall of Famer, right? And the stuff that he said about Juan Soto, about his maturity, about his preparation, about how he carries himself, about the family he comes from, about how smart he is, you can't put a price on that. And for me, somebody that is that young, like Juan Soto, that has all those intangibles, that if you do sign him for the next 10, 12, 13, 14 years, his jersey will be in the top 10 in jersey sales for the same amount of time. For me, I just don't see a price on that, like David Ortiz was saying. What's your thoughts, Grace?
No, yeah, I totally agree. David Ortiz has been on the Juan Soto train for a few years now. Before he was even on the Yankees' radar, I remember, before we could trade for him, I remember Ortiz going on and on about Juan Soto, and Ortiz knows a thing or two about hitting. A thing or two. So, I mean, having someone like David Ortiz in your corner saying, not just you're one of the greatest, but you are the best hitter in Major League Baseball. I mean, that is an incredible statement from David Ortiz. So, yeah, that's a great video. I mean, I agree. Juan Soto is the type of guy that you would get for your franchise and build around him.
Yes.
But the Yankees are talking about getting him and adding him. I mean, the possibility, we missed the playoffs last year. This year, we went to the World Series. Major difference, Juan Soto. Juan Soto. I mean, that's how much he's worth. And he's worth that to every club, but to us, oh my God, putting us over the top for the next 5 years while we still have Aaron Judge, being able to slap it around. I mean, there is no second option. Okay. If we don't get Soto, it's a total pivot. It's a total shift. There is no, okay, well, we didn't get Soto, so we're going to get this guy. No. It is a complete paradigm shift if we don't get Soto. So I think Hal is in it to win it. He has said he's in it to win it. He doesn't just go out and say that stuff. He doesn't just fly to meetings for everyone. He is all in. Now, Juan Soto could still decide to go somewhere else, and that's not in Hal's control. But Hal is going to control all that he can and try to get us this player. I mean, as a Yankees fan, you have to be feeling like you're in a good place. At least your owner is behind what we want. He wants what we want. We're not fan base out there screaming for our ownership. Hey, get in there. Go talk to this guy. Please. No. Our owner is on the same page, and he's going to do what he can. So that's all we can have right now at this point. So
and again, respect to everybody and their takes when it comes to this entire time covering the New York Yankees, covering this Juan Soto sweepstakes. Like Jacob says, me and Heck were talking about Soto a good amount of time last night. I need this shit figured out. All love, Heck. Great convo last night, my brother. Absolutely, Jacob. It was a great conversation. It was a respectful conversation. And for me, I will engage in these convos as long as we could be respectful and there's no ad hominems or anything like that thrown out there. But I just don't see a way that the Yankees can go out there and be better by losing Juan Soto. I just don't see a scenario where that plays out. Are there some solid free agents out there? Yeah. You know, Christian Walker, he's a solid option. Anthony Santander, he's a solid option as well. Cody Bellinger, you know, people saying we could trade for Cody. That's a solid option, right? Those players are phenomenal players. They are awesome players. They do not equal up what Juan Soto brings to the table. And that's what I'm having a hard time trying to grasp, because when you look at Christian Walker, who has had 3 seasons of 30 home runs in a row, 3 straight Gold Gloves in the National League, he is 33 years old. Anthony Santander had his best season this year. He is over 30 years old. These guys are well over Juan Soto's age. Now, if Christian Walker, if he was 28 years old, this is a different conversation, Grace. If Anthony Santander, if he was 28 years old, different conversation. Willie Adames, 26, 27, 28, we're having a different convo. All these guys are either 30 years old or older, and that means that at minimum, they're 4 years older than Juan Soto.
Yep. I mean, exactly. That is why he's about to get the biggest contract of all time, because of his age. Because this man was playing and winning the World Series when he was 19 years old. A teenager winning the World Series and contributing majorly. Not just on the bench, okay? This guy is the next Ted Williams. And actually, I don't even want to say that, because he's Juan Soto. He's going to form his own legacy, and he's going to form his own legend. And that's going to be different than Ted Williams. It's something we have never seen in our lifetime. I mean, the combination of all the factors, okay? We've seen great hitters. We've seen great strike zones. We've seen all, but the combination of all of these things in one person. And then to bring up what Ortiz said, he's smart. He doesn't get in trouble off the field. He's a great locker room guy. He brings energy. He speaks English perfectly. He, all these things. Adding all that up, I mean, there's nobody else. There's nobody else. So hope we get him. Stay tuned. I don't know. I have anxiety about it, but they're going to do all they can do. I don't know. I want to bring up one more thing. Go ahead.
I just want to shout out. Let me just shout out Rara, who's in the building. Shout out to Rara. Appreciate you. LB is in the building as well. And shout out to Theo AA, who says, loving the earring, Hector. Yes, thank you, AA. Appreciate that. My fault, Grace. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I was looking up contracts and all the stuff everybody's been talking about Brian Cashman and Hal making a big offer and how it's going to be crazy if we spend so much money on one player, and somebody brought up the Bryce Harper contract, which was signed a few years ago, right, with the Phillies, and at the time everybody thought it was crazy. At the time. Now you hear that he's making $25 million and you're like, what? Bryce Harper's making $25 million a year? Like, that is cheap now. Inflation, whatever you want to call it, the contract is going to age well. If Soto stays healthy-ish, right? Everybody gets injured here and there. Yeah. But if he stays mostly healthy-ish, this contract, even at $650 million, whatever it's going to be, is going to age well over 12, 14 years. There's going to be opt-outs. Juan Soto is going to opt out. He's going to test free agency again, most likely. So who cares? Give him what he wants. That's what I think. Give him what he wants. He's going to opt out. We're going to make the money back. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, no, definitely. And again, I just want to take a second. Shout out to everybody who's watching us on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. If you're on Twitter, click the link in the bio. Jump on over to YouTube. I got DS2126 on Instagram says, Soto does not have any reason to leave the Yankees besides money. And the Mets do not have anything to offer him just besides money. And it's going to come down to money, right? And There's a clip from SNY that I want to bring up to talk about possible plan B scenarios. I know I mentioned Christian Walker and the other guys. So this video is probably like a minute and a half long. So it gives me and Grace some time to get some water. So we're going to play this video real quick. We're going to take some notes and we'll be right back to break it down with y'all.
If you took Adames, who would play shortstop most places, but he would be willing to move to third, he's already said that, or second. Christian Walker, who's a Gold Glove caliber first baseman. By the way, he'd be about a 3-year deal. He's a local guy, too, would fit perfectly. And Teoscar Hernandez, who there's already been rumors about him in the Yankees already. They're clearing $46 million with Rizzo, Verdugo, who else? Holmes and Torres. So the top 2 would fit just with the guys that they jettisoned, and then the other one would fit where Soto was. Like, your defense is better all the way through. You have 3 Gold Glovers in the infield, and Jazz, let's say, moves to second base. He'd be fantastic there. And you filled your outfield situation. And by the way, you can move Judge to right field, which solves that issue without him playing center field, and put Dominguez in center field. So I think if you look at that, that looks like it's a more well-rounded team to me than just having, let's say, all of your money parked in Soto.
No offense, but that's like when you buy the store brand of the chocolate chips, right? It's the store brand. It's not as good. It's good, and it'll do the job, and they'll get the job done. Don't get it twisted. I like those guys, but you need the fancy brand. You need the theater. You need the guy. They are not Juan Soto. They will not fill his shoes. They will not put butts in seats. They will not create the theater and the drama and entertainment that Juan Soto will do. They will not be that guy. And so that's your plan. That's great. But to your point, it is go all in for Juan Soto. There are things we don't know that he wants. And so if they fall short, that might be why. I don't think it's going to be because of the money. I think it's going to be because of these intangible things that we don't know enough about. But they're the store brand guys, and that's fine. Yeah. But they are not that sweet chocolate special brand that you love and costs a lot of money.
And she hit it right on the head. She hit it right on the head, because when you look at it, and I hate to sound like a label whore or just somebody who's super materialistic in this capitalistic world we live in. I hate to sound like that. But when you look at it, when I was younger growing up, Grace, I was big into fashion. We know the difference between Polo and USA Polo Association, right? We understand the difference. Juan Soto is Polo. Juan Soto is Polo.
Gucci. Okay, let's talk about it.
Those other guys are U.S. Polo Association, USPA. That's what it comes down to. They sound amazing, right? You probably get away with them for a season or whatever, but they're going to age. They're going to start declining. Juan Soto, he's your prime A-rib. That's you go to the restaurant and you spending the most money. That's the most money on the menu. What's your thoughts about that?
I mean, you're gonna spend the money anyway. You're just talking about spreading it around through some kind of mid to top mid-level players, rather than one absolutely generational, legendary, iconic, incredible player. So it's like, what's your style? That's not the Yankees style. The Yankees aren't we're going to spread it around and have a whole bunch of mid players and end up in the playoffs and see what we can see. No. This is the New York Yankees. We like stars. We like slug. We like, flash and all that stuff. That's how we stay the most profitable sports franchise in baseball year after year after year. So they're not going to go away from that game plan. I really don't see the Yankees being like, you know what we should do here. I don't know why they had like an Austin accent. But anyway, I don't think that that's their style. So yeah. Cool idea, bro. But it ain't going to happen.
Yeah, no, but like she said, right, they're not going to, those players aren't going to fill seats up, right? But fans aren't buying season tickets for Christian Walker, Anthony Santander, and Willie Adames. Fans are buying season tickets for Juan Soto, right? Fans are paying that extra, that $300, $400 for the World Series jersey for Juan Soto, not for Christian Walker and Anthony Santander. I'm sorry. No shade to those guys, right? But Juan Soto is Juan Soto. Shout out to Rich Squires in the building with the $20 super chat. I'm going to leave that up there for a minute. He says, my concern is Howe said he knows what he needs to do. but does he actually have the Steinbrenner cojones to actually close the deal? Pay him $690 million. Don't sweat it. Get your ROI and marketing and gate money. Absolutely. We brought it up. I brought it up last week. When you look at the money that the Yankees like it says generated or whatever, I got to look into that from Forbes, but it was 120 million more than the next team, which was the LA Dodgers, right?
Bye.
You get Juan Soto, you are going to make that money back and some on top of it. If you let Juan Soto walk away and you let Juan Soto go to Queens, then a pendulum shift happens in New York City and New York sports. Young fans will start flocking and becoming Mets fans. Yankee fans that are just your typical regular, not diehard Yankee fan will probably shift and become Met fans. I know some of us will be like, fine, go ahead and be a Met fan. But when it's all said and done, I do not see a world where Yankee fans are okay with letting Juan Soto walk away to Queens.
Yeah, absolutely. Isn't that what happened to the Yankees before Steinbrenner bought the franchise? I mean, obviously we weren't alive, but I think I learned that the Yankees, all their stars kind of left and they kind of had a lull.
Casey Stengel went to go manage the Mets.
There you go. Yeah. Mets were gone.
Yogi Berra started going over to the Mets.
So the Mets were on the rise. The Yankees were on the decline. The value went down. We didn't go to the World Series for a while. Like it was a slump
before the Steinbrenner.
Bought it. Yeah. Exactly. So could that be on the horizon? Like what you're saying, if Soto goes to the Mets and then the Mets end up going to the postseason over and over and the Yankees don't, like who knows what could happen? I don't know if it would be like that. Mm-hmm. But I mean, anything's possible. I mean, I don't want to find out. I just look at history, especially history under the Steinbrenner family and regime. Okay.
After 2006, when Jorge Posada had an amazing season, I think he won a batting title, or he was top 3 in batting titles in 2006. Folks in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong. But after Jorge Posada had that amazing season, the New York Mets offered Posada a massive contract, right? The Yankees, what did they do? They overpaid to keep Posada because they were bringing back Andy Pettitte. They wanted to ride that core 4 again. They wanted to market that again. And of course, Jorge Posada just came off of winning a batting title, right, with the New York Yankees that season. So when you look at history, the Yankees, they overpaid to keep their guys from going to the Mets and going to the Red Sox, because we overpaid for Bernie Williams, because at one time Bernie Williams was about to sign a contract with the Red Sox. And at the last second, George Steinbrenner came in, overpaid, and gave him an extra year. So on face level, I understand on face level, Steve Cohen has the most money when it comes to being an owner in baseball. I get that. Steve Cohen versus Hal Steinbrenner's pocket, his piggy bank, his wallet, Steve Cohen's going to win. But when you look at the Yankees versus the Mets, it's a different conversation. Steve Cohen does not have the Mets payroll direct deposit from his bank account. That's not how business works. It doesn't add up like that, right? So I don't see a scenario where Steve Cohen is going to be able to outbid Hal Steinbrenner, and Hal Steinbrenner allows him to outbid him.
The Mets want Cohen to be George so bad. They watched George just run roughshod over the entire league for years and just go out and buy any player that the Yankees wanted. And we just were championship, postseason, ALCS. And they just watched it with their ownership group at the time, and they were in misery. Now that Steve Cohen is there and he's got all this money, they want to get back so bad and have their own George Steinbrenner, and he just hasn't been that yet. Okay, I know Steve Cohen has money. Okay, cool, copy. But I haven't seen hide nor hair of that when it comes to securing the big free agent in the MLB. I haven't seen it yet. That doesn't mean he's not going to get Juan Soto. I don't know the future. But what I do know is I ain't seen it yet.
You know what it is? It's if we all
Also,
like
Hector, we got a couple super chats. I don't want you.
Yeah, I want to go over the super chats right now real quick because we got a super chat from Double A. Double A with the $4.99 says Soto smart knows signing the Mets could mean taking loss blame for years. Absolutely, Double A. James DeVal with the $3 super sticker as well. I'm gonna highlight Richie Squire's super chat as we continue. And also shout out to everybody that's in the building. We got over 200 people rocking out with us. We got over 80 people on YouTube. So if you guys can, please smack that like button and hit the subscribe button. You know what I feel, right? When it comes to this conversation, it feels like we all like to believe that if we were in Vegas with our best friend and they were at the craps table just blowing money, we like to believe that we would pull them off of the craps table. Yankee fans, just do not pull Hal Steinbrenner away from the crap table. You let Hal Steinbrenner go all the way, because there's a comment from Ra that I want to bring up, right? And it's a solid comment. He said, Medina just being realistic. How much is too much? And if it comes down to money, he's gone, right? I see what you're saying there, Ra. But for me, there's not a walkaway number. When you look at it, right? Like I said, if it was the Dodgers and the Yankees going back and forth, it's a different conversation. But the fact that it's the Yankees and the Mets, for me, there's no walkaway number when it comes to the Yankees' legacy. The Yankees' legacy is on the line when it comes to this Juan Soto free agency. If the Yankees allow Juan Soto to go to Queens, the Yankees will become the laughing stock, not only in baseball, but in New York sports. If they allow their little brother, the little engine that could never get over that hill, if you allow Steve Cohen and the Mets to beat you in free agency and get Juan Soto, the player that you traded for after missing the postseason last year, if you allow that to happen, the Yankees will become a laughing stock. How Steinbrenner understand what perception looks like. And if you lose the back pages to the New York Mets in this way, George Steinbrenner, he will become a zombie, rise up from the grave and eat your face.
Eat your face. Walking Dead. Oh, Lord. We got to get Juan Soto. That's it. But, you know, we're in it. Like I said, our owner is focused and in it, and that's all you can ask for. You know, at the end of the day, I am grateful that Hal is not, like I said, not an owner where we're screaming at our ownership, please do something. Please get in there. Please spend some money. No, he's spending money every year, spends a ton of money, and he's in it. And he knows what he listens to his people. He knows what he needs, and we're going to see what he can do. Yeah. It's about to be time. Cohen better show up, or else all the Mets fans can shut the fuck up about it. Okay? I'm not trying to hear, my daddy has more money than your daddy anymore. If he doesn't get Juan Soto, I'm not lying. If he doesn't get Juan Soto, y'all are about to take a seat for at least a few years and just shut up about it.
Yeah, because and this is what I said. If Steve Cohen was all about using his pocketbook, using his own personal bank account to win the back pages, to get these superstars, Shohei Ohtani would be a Met. I don't care if that was the case. If he offered $50 or $100 million more than the Dodgers, you think Shohei Ohtani would have turned that down? That's still $50 or $100 million. You think the Dodgers would have probably matched that? I'm not too sure. But if Steve Cohen was that badass of a guy that's going to use his wallet to pay for players and to use his own personal finances, Yamamoto would be a Met and Shohei Ohtani would be a Met.
Go ahead, Hector. Say it, because this is what I'm saying. Could he? Yeah. Did he? No.
Yes, and that's the difference. Shout out to Ultra Cowboy fan who is in the chat just being the only troll. Soto's gonna look great in blue and orange. Shout out to Ultra Cowboy fan who is in the building. Let's shout out to everybody else that's in the building. Nosebleed section is in the building. How you doing? Cohen might have more money, but the Mets are not the richest team in MLB. Does he really care about the Mets? Besides, the Mets have more holes to fill than the Yankees. Yeah, at least with the Yankees, at least we know our number one ace is Garrett Cole. You know, we got Carlos Rodon right behind them. I know that, you know, he ain't live up to potential, but the New York Mets, they only have like one starting pitcher, and that's Kodai Senga. He only pitched 5 innings during the regular season, and he pitched limited in the postseason, right? So the New York Mets, they have more holes to fill than the New York Yankees do. Shout out to Rara in the building. Hector, I agree with you, but the Yankees had Soto in the organization this year. They should have asked him what you want to stay here and not go to free agency. That's troubling. No, and I agree with you, Rara. That's why I brought it up on last week's show with me and Grace, and I'll throw it over to Grace to get her take on it. During the regular season, Grace, we would come on the show and we would talk about Juan Soto flirting with Hal Steinbrenner in the media, and Hal Steinbrenner also flirting with Juan Soto, talking about a contract negotiation during the season. It's the moment that Hal Steinbrenner put his foot in his mouth when he talked about a $300 million payroll, about that not being sustainable. When that happened, Scott Boras called Juan Soto up and said, stop having those conversations or telling the media you're willing to negotiate during the season, because now Hal Steinbrenner is signaling, I'm going to try to get, a favorable contract for the team. No, we need to try to get as much money as possible. Scott Boras was right as an agent to tell Juan Soto, if he did, to stop saying that after games. Go ahead, Grace.
I think a lot of that, Hector, is posturing for the ownership meetings and the negotiations with the luxury tax and all that stuff that happens. I think that Hal is lying. I think that, to just call it, a spade. I think he's like, oh, this is not sustainable, $300 million and this luxury tax. Yeah. It's killing me. I can't keep doing this. I really can. But do I want to? No. Lower the luxury tax. I hate it. You know what I mean? I feel like that's posturing. Mm-hmm. And yes, it affects everything else. So it's going to affect the negotiation with Scott Boras over Juan Soto and the possible extension that could have happened, of course. But I don't think that was directly why he said that. That's just my opinion. Mm-hmm. Because if he were to go out, and I've said this before on one of our 300 episodes, but if Hal were to go out and be like, yeah, I don't give a shit about the luxury tax, it's no problem, okay? So here, who am I going to call? Who am I going to sign? Don't worry about me. Worry about yourself. If he said that, they would raise it again. They'd raise the luxury tax again. They would, try to get every dollar out of the Yankees. They would punish everybody even more. So I think that has part to do with how he acts about that stuff. I don't think, because money talks and bullshit walks, right? Actions speak louder than words. He has steady been over the luxury tax. Okay, so he has continually been over it while he's been saying this is too high and it's not sustainable. But his actions say that it is. So I think that it's just posturing, if that makes sense. Yeah, and like Jacob said, heck, to be fair, when was the last time a Boras client didn't hit the market? No, and I agree with you. I felt, even with that back and forth that Soto and Hal was having with the media, I still felt that Juan Soto, he was going to go to free agency no matter what. I never thought that they were going to negotiate during the season. But to Jacob's point, there has never been a Boras client that didn't hit the market, and when Boras clients hit the market, they normally come out with the news of where they're signing around the winter meetings. That's why I think it's going to happen like during the winter meetings or right after the winter meetings. Can somebody name me a Scott Boras client that signed before the winter meetings? Yo, look up Altuve. Wasn't he with Scott Boras? Oh, that I'm not too sure. I'll look it up. I think Jose Altuve was with Scott Boras, and he told him, I want to stay with the Astros. And Boras was like, I advise against this. And he was like, but I don't care. I love the Astros. I want to stay there. I think I could be wrong on that, but that's my memory. But that was the situation. If it's true and that was Scott Boras, that was a situation where Scott I don't think was happy with that. But ultimately, the client is the boss. So I just want to say also, we got over 200 people in the building rocking out with us. If you guys can, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We are sitting at 39 likes, and there's over 80 people in the building on YouTube. If you guys can, smack that like button and hit the subscribe button. We are at 4,468 subscribers on our way to 5K. So help us out by hitting the subscribe button. My guy, Kev, says hello and Holy Tuesday. The Soto sweepstakes has begun. Absolutely, Kev. Sir. Shout out to you. Jacob said, heck, it's going to be before, after that fiasco last year.
He has a lot of clients to worry about. He lost some clients like Jordan Montgomery because of his incompetence. Absolutely, Jacob.
Yeah.
That's why I think this offseason, it has to be a big bounce back offseason for Scott Boras. The one thing I say that hurt Scott Boras last year, his free agents weren't as close to being the top dogs like Juan Soto. Last year's free agent class, the number one free agent was Yamamoto, and then Juan Soto as the trade piece, right? So I think Scott Boras shot himself in the foot trying to get his clients very late in the game, the type of money that Yamamoto got. He bet against himself. Nathaniel says, hey, Yankee fans. Hey, Yankees fans are forever family to meet no matter what. Absolutely, Nathaniel. Welcome to the conversation. Welcome to the chat as well. So I have a video here that I want to play. This is from a Mets podcast talking about Aaron Judge and how important Juan Soto is to Aaron Judge. So we're going to play this video. Shout out to this podcast as well. Even though they're Mets podcast, they still do great work. We still shout out other content creators that do amazing work. So we're going to play this video and we will be right back.
Wins that award unanimously. I think it's worth pointing out Aaron Judge, wins that award unanimously in the AL. Well, can Aaron Judge ever do that again if he doesn't have a guy the caliber of Juan Soto hitting right ahead of him to protect him?
It is such an interesting question, especially upon seeing his abominable performance in the postseason.
Right.
It does make you wonder, and the manager and the entire Yankees operation and inability to kind of make some in-game changes and move things around, it definitely leaves me with some questions. And as much as they want to say that they have some other superstars there, if I was a Yankees fan or a Yankees talking head, or I simply had a mic available to me, I would be yelling in it, you should go grab Juan Soto because your lineup is not as deep as you think it is. I thought that from the start of the season, and I'm kind of still thinking now.
And if I'm Aaron Judge, circling back to the fact that he hasn't talked to Juan Soto, like, Aaron, get on the phone. Like, that benefits you so heavily to have Juan Soto protecting you, as we saw with your ridiculous numbers this season. You don't put up those numbers if you don't have a guy the caliber of good old Juan hitting in front of you. You just don't.
You don't.
So then it begs the question, who do the Yankees replace him with if he doesn't sign there? Interesting.
Shout out to Why Am I a Mets Fan podcast. That's a great name for a podcast, first of all. And that was a solid take from them. Like, even though they're Met fans, they didn't put their bias in their take or whatever. Because when you look at it, Juan Soto is as important to the Yankees, just as important as he is to Aaron Judge, right? Aaron Judge I know he had 62 home runs a couple of seasons ago, but I felt the season he had last year was the best season he had in the big leagues. He had a career high in average. He had a career low when it comes to strikeouts. He walked more than he ever had. He had a career high in OPS. Yes, he had 4 home runs less than 62, but I felt the season he had last year was the best season he had in the big leagues. And the number one caveat, the one thing that you could say is the reason why, is Juan Soto batting in front of him. What's your thoughts on that, Grace?
I could argue that Juan Soto had the best year of his career with Aaron Judge batting behind him. And nobody gives Juan Soto the type of protection that Aaron James unanimous MVP Judge gives. Nobody else in the league. So, I mean, yeah, cool. Good point. But also, the other side of that coin is that Aaron Judge was batting behind him. The batting champion, the leader, the Hall of Famer. Let's call it a spade a spade. This man's going in the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Famer batting behind him. So it's the combination of the two.
Yeah.
That's why we got to keep them together. It's the Ruth and Gehrig, the Maris and Mantle, the Soto Judge. It's the combination. They need each other. One hand washes the other when that conversation comes up. So I do agree with the point, but there is another side of that too, which is Juan Soto benefits from hitting in front of Aaron Judge.
Yeah, no, he definitely does. The same way Aaron Judge benefits, it's the same way Juan Soto benefits as well. Shout out to Ultra Cowboy fan, mi hermano, pero espérate. He says only quality mofongo is in Queens with Fledor, pero mi hermano, ¿qué tú estás hablando? What are you talking about? Cógelo con tranquilo, bro. Okay, listen. Washington Heights is the home of the mofongo. All right, my guy. Point blank. Period. Queens has
go down.
Queens has some real good food when it comes to Roosevelt Avenue. That's the one thing I want to say. If you guys want good food and you're in Queens, go to Roosevelt Avenue. If City Phil was right up the block from Roosevelt Avenue, we're having a different conversation. We got over 210 people in the building. If you guys can't, smack that like button. Shout out to my guy TC Stills, who was rocking out with us. My brother TC, how you doing? TC, today is episode 300 of Yanks Morning Brew. Throw the 300s in the chat for Yanks Morning Brew. We got over 90 people rocking out with us on YouTube. If you guys can, please smack that like button. This is probably one of my favorite times of the year. It's the off season, MLB off season, where anything can happen. So shout out to everybody who is in the building. My guy Joseph Caputo from the shift. Hey, yo, Joe, we back at Donuts. I miss my guy Joe. Joe, I miss you. You got to let me know when you could join me and Grace again. We miss having you up here with us. We miss you, my guy. Salute to you. Hope the family's doing well. Hope the young ones doing good as well. Shout out to you. LB is in the building. Said, bro, really? Judge was protecting Soto. The fourth spot was the worst one in MLB. Soto put up the best numbers of his career because of Judge. Stop being Soto lovers and look at the numbers. Jesus. Wait, what is that? Judge was protecting. Yeah, but I don't understand the take. Stop being Soto numbers and look at Soto lovers and look at the numbers. We're not arguing against the numbers. We just said Juan Soto had the best season of his career batting in front of Aaron Judge. Shout out to my guy LB in the chat though. Let's see. Rara says Soto can bat in anybody's lineup. No, absolutely. Willard Wright says, look, just because he benefits it, Soto wants $700 million. It's Mets. Not sure what you mean on that one, but shout out to you, my guy. But again, looking back into the conversation, right? Who benefits who more, Judge or Soto? For me, it's collective when it comes to the team. When you look at the team, this team, you saw what this team was without Juan Soto, right? Yes, we went out there and got Alex Verdugo as well. Alex Verdugo didn't contribute that much to the season. So if this lineup did not have Juan Soto, we're not in the postseason this year. We're not in the World Series, especially when you look back at the first month of the season that Aaron Judge had. Aaron Judge had the worst first month of the year of his career. Go ahead, Grace.
Yeah, that was rough. And we forget about it because it was so long ago. And Aaron Judge made us forget about it because the man went absolutely nuclear after that and was breaking records that hadn't been touched since the 1920s. And I'm not exaggerating. He was absolutely insane this year, minus the first month. And the fact that his numbers are what they are at the end of the year, even with that first month, is crazy. And if you didn't watch all the games, if you're not a Yankees fan, maybe you don't know that. Yeah. But Aaron Judge is, let's not sleep on the captain. The World Series, the postseason is what it is, okay? Yeah. I acknowledge that, okay? But let's not sleep on the captain. Okay, he is incredible, and he's here. So we need to keep Juan Soto with him for sure. It's the combination. It's the 1-2 punch. It's the Bash brothers, right? You got to keep them together for sure. Juan Soto needs Judge. Judge needs Juan Soto. I mean, we're splitting hairs here, right? They're both incredible. Yeah, we want them both.
Yeah, yeah, and
los dos, okay.
And like I said, it's, to me, it's more than just baseball when it comes to Juan Soto. It comes down to the Yankees' legacy, right? Because again, the Yankees haven't won a championship since 2009, right? The Yankees went to the World Series this past season, the first time in 15 years. Oh God. Right. Let's just put that on. Let's put that out there on Front Street. 15 years since the last time won a World Series or been to the World Series, right? The New York Mets was in the World Series in 2015. If the New York Mets, if they win a World Series before the Yankees win a World Series and they have Juan Soto on their team, again, the legacy of the New York Yankees will go down the chute. The brand recognition of the New York Yankees, that's gone. Unless that's the direction that Howard Steinbrenner wants to go. And this is the one thing that I like to point out to the team. The Yankees are one of the only teams in baseball that own the naming rights to their stadium. It's called Yankee Stadium. It's not called Yankee 161 Stadium. It's not called Chase Citibank State. No, it's called Yankee Stadium. And the only other team in Major League Baseball is Wrigley Field. But Wrigley was a corporation, but it was still a family, right? So the Yankees are the only team in baseball that has their name Yankee Stadium. If the Yankees lose Juan Soto to the Mets, if the Mets win a championship before the New York Yankees, the Yankees' legacy is done. Then the name of their naming of their stadium will be some crypto fucking arena.
We don't want that.
Hal Steinbrenner is not going to let that happen. The moment he lets that happen is the moment he puts a big ass for sale sign on 161 River Ave. That's the moment that happens. The moment he allows the New York Mets to outbid the Yankees for a young superstar, and you lose the back page war to the New York Mets, and you do that over and over and over again. The moment that happens is the moment the Steinbrenner family sells the Yankees.
Speaking of stadiums,
talk about it.
How about those Tampa Bay Rays?
That's
Poor
another
Rays.
shitstorm.
I feel so bad for them. I'm sorry. I'm laughing, but I have that weird thing. Like when I'm uncomfortable, I laugh. Like I'm the person that like has to hold back laughter in the worst situations. And I'm like, it's not funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. But the Rays, y'all, and then the city council said, yeah, no, we're not going to repair the stadium and we're not going to approve the bond. So the Rays are like, what are we going to do?
well, because when you look at it, right, it was $55 million to fix the stadium, right?
Yeah.
From the city of St. Petersburg, Florida, right?
Right.
The city of St. Petersburg, Florida, is already putting $450 million down for their new stadium that starts next year. So on top of the 450 for your new stadium, now you want another 55 million, and you're only going to be in that stadium for 2 seasons before you move to your new stadium?
Hey, listen, I don't blame them. I just think it's crazy what's happening. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with them. I mean, I don't know. Anyway.
Listen, whatever happens, the Tampa Bay Rays, that stadium, the Tropicana Field, the stadium where they play is horrible, right? They have overgrown grass in the parking lots and stuff. The area around it, it's a nice area around it. I've been down in Tampa. It's nice shopping areas, great restaurants and stuff. But where the stadium is at, they have parking lots that have grass that it look like Children of the Corn. The overgrown grass and
it's
shit.
Terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It's terrible. I heard that they don't have they don't sell that many tickets or whatever, which we know that, but they have a good TV presence and market. So they do make money. But maybe allocate it. I don't know. Anyway, I want to ask you, Hector, some questions about moves that you want to make besides Juan Soto. I love Juan Soto. I love talk about Juan Soto.
We'll get into that.
Let's move forward and let's just go ahead and, for the sake of conversation right now,
can I shout out the chat real quick? Because we got over 225 people in the building watching with us, and we got over 100 people on YouTube. So if you guys can, please smack that like button. We're sitting at 53 likes. So if you can, let's try to get to as close as we can to 100 likes. So if you can, smack the like button, hit the subscribe button. Grace, take us into Grace's Corner right now.
Grace's Corner. Well, thank you for joining Grace's Corner. I want to know, let's just assume for the sake of conversation that we re-sign or sign Juan Soto, okay? So Juan Soto is there. He's playing right field, okay? Let's just assume that. What other move are you going to make? Like, what position are you going to address next? First base, second base, left field, center. Like, what are you gonna do?
Okay, so Juan Soto, he's signed with us, right? That allows us, if I'm doing math right in my head, that allows us to bring in one of those guys that we had for Plan B, like Willie Adames, Christian Walker, Anthony Santander. I would want Willie Adames to be our third baseman. I
Hector.
would move Jazz Chisholm to second base. And for first base, I will go out there and I will get Carlos Santana as a veteran on a 1-year deal. He is a switch hitter. He has success in the postseason when it comes to home runs, and you don't have to worry about him being a cleanup hitter. You could put him at the bottom part of the lineup, 6, 7, 8, whatever you want. Carlos Santana would be a veteran bat at the bottom part of the lineup, which is a switch hitter as well, something that we have been missing. Every Yankee team that has won a championship had at least one switch hitter.
I cannot believe you just said that. I was not expecting you to say that. I swear. I was going to talk about Willy Adames. Why is nobody talking about Willy Adames?
I love Willy Adames.
Me too. I know he's going to be a lot of money, but we can afford it. And so I miss having a power bat at third base. Call me an A-Rod lover, whatever. I'll wear that. But like, I miss that. And Willy Adames could play third base, I think, successfully. I believe he's also going to give you a built-in backup plan in case Anthony Volpe doesn't work out, in case Anthony Volpe doesn't get extended, or, you know, whatever could happen with Anthony Volpe. He's an incredible backup plan for shortstop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jazz moves over to second. He's played second before. He's great. You've got speed. You've got power right there between Jazz, Willie, and Volpe. You got speed, power, stolen bags, defense, all that stuff right there on the left side of the infield. The first baseman, I love offering Santana a 1-year deal. I would not go any more than that. I do not like offering him 2, 3, God forbid 4. I'm very nervous about the age.
Yeah, I'm staying away from Santander. I'm staying away from Santander. I'm sorry. He's been a solid MLB player. He's been solid with the Orioles. You said Santander.
I did? No, I meant the first baseman.
Oh, Christian Walker.
No, not Christian Walker. The other one.
Santana?
One. Yes, Santana.
Okay.
Sorry, that's what I meant to say. Santana, my bad. On a 1-year deal, I like that. He can mentor Ben Rice or whoever they're going to bring up possibly to plug in the first base hole. On a 1-year deal, he's got great defense. His bat is fine. But it's a improvement over Anthony Rizzo. No shots fired to Anthony Rizzo. I loved Anthony Rizzo, but when you look at our OPS from first base last year, the lowest in the American League. I mean, horrible from a position that's traditionally power. So I know a lot of people are wanting to go out and get Christian Walker for the pop and this and that, and I get it. But if we supplement that pop with a third base Willy Adames type of bat, then I'm okay with just locking down solid defense at first base for now. Short-term deal. What about the outfield, Hector? What is your plan there?
The outfield, this is why I'm okay with getting Willy Adames for third base and moving Jazz Chisholm to second base, because if the Yankees' plan is to have Caleb Durbin compete for the job at second base, you could use Jazz Chisholm in the outfield with Jason Dominguez. I would want to have Jason Dominguez be our everyday center fielder. I know a lot of people don't like the idea of Aaron Judge being in left field. They want to move Judge to right field, but this is my argument against that. If the Yankees are okay with allowing Aaron Judge to play center field when he's a right fielder, what's stopping them from letting him play left field? Left field in Yankee Stadium is like center field in any other ballpark. So if you're okay with Aaron Judge playing center field in Yankee Stadium, why can't he play left field in Yankee Stadium? You put Judge in left field, you put Jason Dominguez into his natural position, which he is comfortable at in center field. And if you have to rotate him and Jazz Chisholm, because Jazz Chisholm played center field for the Marlins, you do that. It's a way for you to give Caleb Durbin an opportunity without just naming him the everyday starting second baseman. This is a way for you to keep Jazz Chisholm in the lineup, whether you're moving and rotating him around from second or center field, or if you got to give Willy Adames a day off, you move Jazz Chisholm to third base. It allows the versatility and allows you to be flexible.
I think that Caleb Durbin deserves a spot, at least maybe on the bench. Maybe he needs to be in the conversation. Here's what I want to say about Caleb Durbin. He's ready. He's ready to take the next step to come up to the big leagues. Now, you got a couple options here. If you leave him in AAA you'll ruin him. You'll ruin his trade value. You'll ruin his techniques. I mean, all of a sudden, like this is the time he's ready to come up. Okay, so either he comes up and he plays on the bench, he comes up and he plays everyday second base, or you trade him. These are the options for me. In my opinion, I would put Jason Dominguez in center field. Give him a chance. Stop blocking this kid. He is a phenomenal player. He is super young. He has already been at the major league level and had some success. Don't even bring up this year. Don't even bring up 15 games to me, okay? This guy needs his shot. We invested in him when he was a teenager. He's come up. He had to sit out a year for COVID. He's gone through a lot. Tommy John, I mean, whatever. He deserves a shot. Give him his tools that he needs. Give him a chance in center field. I believe he'll step up. I love Jason Dominguez. I love Jason Dominguez. So I'll put him in center field. Judge is either going to be in right or left, depending on if we get Soto or not. Okay. And yeah, that's what I think. I think that's a solid plan moving forward. And I'm not talking about breaking the bank or anything like this,
Yeah. And again,
what about pitching?
And that's what I wanted to bring up, right? So,
Okay.
because I know, shout out to LB in the chat who brought up the Steve Cohen tax and Hal Steinbrenner earlier saying that he wasn't going to come close to it. But over the past couple of weeks, when people are talking to Hal Steinbrenner, he's saying that no, we are in the position to go all in. We were different now than what we were last year, and that's what Hal was saying, right? But for me, when it comes to pitching, I think our starting pitching is fine. If we go out there and trade for somebody, I'm not going to hate it. I wouldn't mind giving Shane Bieber a flyer, taking a flyer on Shane Bieber, starting pitcher, coming off of an injury, low risk, high reward. But when it comes to the bullpen, if we're going to spend money for the bullpen, I would say Tanner Scott. You bring in Tanner Scott, you bring in a lefty for the back end of the bullpen, and you have either Luke Weaver be the closer or Tanner Scott be the closer. Tanner Scott, he's already pitched in the AL East. He's familiar with the American League and the American League East. I think he can handle it. So I've been a big proponent of Tanner Scott, and if the Yankees go out there and spend money free agency on pitching, I think it should be Tanner Scott and Shane Bieber. And I just want to say, LI Yankee King, I apologize because I'm the one who told LI Yankee King about Albert Pujols playing in the outfield. Shout out to LI Yankee King. Go ahead, Grace.
I love that. That I have been quacking about Tanner Scott for months.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted him so bad at the trade deadline. I would have traded Spencer Jones like this. It's been multiple times documented on our show that I am more than willing, more than happy to trade Spencer Jones. And
Grace, when I get you a Spencer Jones jersey for spring training, don't be upset.
No, I have all the numbers right here about Spencer Jones. You don't even want me to go there. I am prepared to weave a conversation about why Spencer Jones' trade value is now going down. Okay, so it's been we all know. All right, we all know how I feel. Number one, I'm really happy Gleyber Torres is not a Yankee anymore. Number two, trade Spencer Jones. These are my two things I've been harping on for months. But anyway, trade Spencer Jones. He's got a little bit of value left at least. Jose Trevino, no offense, love you, my Texas boy, but what's the future look like? What's the arm strength look like? He's got a lot of value to offer to a team that needs a everyday catcher, maybe to mentor a young catcher while they're coming up, platinum glove, dependable, great team guy. He's got a lot of value. I think we probably need to move him this offseason. But yeah, I think I like giving the young kids some faith and some time. Let's get younger. That's why signing Christian Walker, and I like Christian Walker, but signing him to a 5-6 year deal, it makes me really nervous, guys. Really nervous. So if he wouldn't agree to a 1 or 2 year deal, then that's when I am going to go to Santana. Santana, right? Okay.
Yeah, Santana.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to go to Santana and negotiate a 1-2 year deal with a club option, something like that. and I'd rather spend the capital to get a crazy bat like Willy Adames at third. So am I crazy? I did not expect you to say Willy Adames.
No.
I swear.
I've been a big fan, a proponent of Willy Adames for a while. Even in the season, I was looking at Willy Adames in the offseason. But when you look at free agency in Major League Baseball, right, over the next 5 years, the number one free agent that's going to be hitting the market over the next 5 years that comes close to Juan Soto is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. There is no free agent over the next few years that may be available that is as impactful as Juan Soto. Teams nowadays are not letting their players hit free agency like in the 90s, like in the early 2000s. They're signing these guys to contract extensions early in their career instead of letting them hit the free agency market. The days of go out there and sign Gary Sheffield are over. The days of just go out there and signing Jason Giambi are over. Those days are in the past. Baseball operates differently right now. So when you have someone like Juan Soto who hits the market, who is this type of superstar talent, who turned down contract extension after contract extension after contract extension, you go in. As much as I love Vladdy, I love Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I wanted his father to be a Yankee. When I used to play the baseball games, I used to trade for him and put him on the Yankees. But that's besides the point. I love Vladimir Guerrero Jr. It's nowhere close to Juan Soto. I'm sorry. Yeah. There's no free agent over the next 5 years that can sniff Juan Soto's jockstrap.
Oop, got him. You know what I wanted to say about that video with the Mets podcast too? I think it was the Mets podcast video that you showed talking about Juan Soto and how Aaron Judge hasn't called him. First of all, he's called him, okay? He's not going to say that. He's not going to put his friend on Front Street and be like, yeah, I was on the phone with him last night. Rest assured, Aaron Judge has spoken to Juan Soto, and he has said his piece. First of all, they played together all year long. They were in the postseason together. They were in the World Series together. That was only 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, whenever it was, okay? And I guarantee you, they've talked, and they're talking. They're friends, okay? And Aaron Judge will never betray a confidence. He will never say, yeah, I talked to him, so he better do what I say. Like, that's not Aaron Judge, okay? So I wanted to say that. I just remembered that.
One thing that hurts the Yankees is there's still a lot of dead money still on the books. Aaron Hicks's money is still on the books.
Oh,
we
God.
still have to pay $15 million to DJ LeMahieu, right?
Oh,
I know Giancarlo Stanton had an amazing postseason, but Giancarlo Stanton, he is earning a lot of money. This upcoming season, it goes down as the years progress, so it can help the Yankees. So when we look at the Yankees payroll and when we look at the Cohen threshold, it's literally for just this season, because the following season, Hicks money comes off the books. Other dead money comes off the books. Giancarlo Stanton, his money starts to decrease when it comes to his AAV. So, yes, I understand the Steve Cohen threshold and not wanting to shoot over that and not wanting to have to play this and yeah. It's not my money. It's not Grace's money. It's not your money. If Juan Soto doesn't get the money, all Hal Steinbrenner got to do is buy another yacht to add to his collection. I don't want Hal Steinbrenner to own more yachts. I want him to put that money in let Juan Soto own a fucking yacht. I don't care. You invest that money in Juan Soto. You start selling Mofongo chicken tender buckets at Yankee Stadium. I will pay $30 for each one every time I go. I don't care. You just make sure that Juan Soto is in the Bronx for the rest of his career, point blank, period.
I don't think people are putting enough weight on how much money the Yankees stand to make from having Juan Soto on the team. And I said this last week. The Yankees stand to make more money than the Mets by having Juan Soto on the team. Just because we have more fans, just because we have more merch, just because we have more, whatever, fill in the blank. So the possible return on investment, to quote Nosebleed in the chat, is higher for the Yankees than the Mets.
Yes. Yes. And this is the point, and this is going to be the last thing that Grace and I are going to talk about because we're going to get ready to wrap things up. And again, shout out to everybody who was in the building. We've had over 200 people solid for the past 30 minutes. We appreciate all of you guys. We are sitting on 65 likes. There's still over 90 people watching us on YouTube. So if you guys can't smack the like button, let's try to get as close as we can to 100 likes on this video. Rara makes a great point, and shout out to Rara. Been rocking out with us over a year since last season as well. Shout out to you, Rara. But Rara says nobody's talking about why nobody wants to play with Judge. Judge cannot bring free agents to come to New York. That's wild, and that's something I don't think anyone had a conversation about.
What?
Why aren't free agents flocking to come and play with Aaron Judge? Why don't you hear guys screaming out there or writing on their social media, I want to play with that player, I want to play with this player? That is a solid point, Rara. I know baseball and the NBA, MLB and NBA is different. NBA players, they tend to do that more, like I would like to play with this player or that player. But I haven't seen many MLB players scream that they want to play with Aaron Judge. Is that too big to look into, Grace, or you think it's just nothing there?
I have never heard anyone make this argument. I honestly, I am shocked right now. I don't even know what to say. I don't think that that's true necessarily, that people don't want to play with Aaron Judge. I don't think, I think if anything, he has a sparkling reputation. And whenever they play on the All-Star games, all the players want to see is Judge. They show multiple camera shots of different players waiting in line to go talk to Aaron Judge, meet Aaron Judge, have batting practice with Aaron Judge when it comes to the All-Star game. And when teams are traveling to Yankee Stadium, same thing. You know, Yes Network always shows shots of different players, whoever they are, waiting to speak to Aaron Judge because they revere him and they adore him. I've never heard anyone say that they don't want to play with Aaron Judge. If that's true, I'm just ignorant to that. Perhaps some players could be intimidated by the shadow of Aaron Judge, but I don't know that that's the case for anyone. It's definitely not the case for Juan Soto. He is not afraid of the shadow of Aaron Judge. He's not afraid of anybody. He's got confidence like, you know, he deserves to have. So I don't think Juan Soto feels that way. I don't know. Hector, am I crazy? Am I way off?
Nah, not even. I want to shout out my guy, my tecayo right here. My guy Hector from Washington Heights. Shout out to my guy. He says, yo, Heck, I want to give the like, but the Met fan is giving me a hard time, bro. Just know it's all love.
We don't want your Met like anyway. So how about that?
Shout out to my guy Heck from Washington Heights, mi tecayo over there. You know what's crazy is, as I listen to WFAN, like all the time when I'm at the gym and when I'm walking around, and late night also, I would always hear Hector from Washington Heights call in, and I'm like, I'm not calling in the show, what the fuck? But it's him who lives in Washington Heights, and then I met him on Twitter over the summertime, and it's been nothing but fam ever since. Shout out to my guy Heck, mi tecayo, who is in the building. Anthony Ribeiro says, Hector, think about Brian De La Cruz, 21 home runs, 68 RBIs in left field. You can get him at a good price. He's only 27. Food for thought. If Soto returns, putting him in left field is a problem. I do like that. Brian De La Cruz, he started his career with the Marlins and then was traded to the Pirates. I think in this past season he played with the Pirates. Let me just look it up. Yeah, he played 44 games with the Pirates, 105 with the Marlins. I do like him, but if I'm going to trade anybody from the Pirates, I'm going to be a little biased here just because I kind of know him and I did some work with him over the past couple of weeks. Joshua Palacios, he is a right fielder who could play left field. He has speed. He has a cannon. He has some pop in his bat. I wouldn't mind the Yankees going out there and getting him. He is a New York kid. He's from Brooklyn. Like I said, I filmed the workout video with him over the past couple of weeks. That's just an option just to have as an extra outfielder. He is a left-handed bat, which I like a lot. He does have speed. He does have a great arm in the outfield. I think he tops out at 98 or 99 miles per hour throwing flat foot. And he's also great friends with Jazz Chisholm.
I love Jazz, want him to be happy, but I am going to be a little bit old school here and just say that New York City and the Bronx specifically is not Miami and it's not Pittsburgh. And for me, I think it's too much of a risk sometimes.
Yeah.
Unless the player is like Jazz, right? Who just absolutely feeds off that energy and has that certain type of personality like Jazz Chisholm Jr. has. If they're not like that, it's a risk to bring them to the Bronx. If they're not proven in a tough environment in the postseason, that's why I wrote down Willie Adames played in the World Series. Let's see. Christian Walker played in the World Series. You know, have they played in the AL East? Well, Willie Adames played in the AL East for a hot second, right? For a little bit. Walker played in the AL. Wait, no, he didn't play in the AL East. No. Wait, yeah, he did with the Orioles. So for me, I'm like, have you played in the AL East? Because it ain't no AL Central. It ain't no NL. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the AL East, okay? Have you played in the AL East? Do you know the AL East? Do you have postseason experience? Do you have World Series experience? How have you done when the pressure has been on you? Because in the AL East, it's like the postseason for other teams all year long. And that's exactly what Jazz Chisholm Jr. said when the first game he played in the Bronx, I think it was the first game, he said, this sounded like a postseason game. It was an absolute culture shock for him coming from the Miami Marlins. No offense, no shock, you know, like,
Yeah.
Not to have them catching strays out here, but it ain't the same.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think everybody understands that it's a little bit different. And Li, just to clarify my point when it comes to Palacios, to get as an extra outfielder, right? I still have it in my head that Jason Dominguez is the starting left fielder or center fielder, however you want to do it. If the Yankees decide to move on from Trent Grisham, because that's the rumors, trade Trent Grisham to get rid of his money off of the books, going out there and getting a guy like Joshua Palacios who could play all three outfield spots, who has an amazing cannon, who has speed, who has pop from the left-hand side of the bat, would be a solid option as an extra outfielder, as a fourth outfield option. I should have clarified that. So my thought about that, Li. Yankee King. Grace, it's 12:15. Let's start getting ready to wrap things up. Thoughts before we go, Grace?
Thoughts before we go. I wish everyone in the chat, especially the Yankees fans, not so much the Mets fan, just kidding. I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Eat your heart out. You know, enjoy time with the family, with the friends, your chosen family, you know, your Yankees family here on YouTube, everybody. It's about love. It's about, you know, cherishing the moment. So I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll catch up with y'all. Hopefully we got some Juan Soto news next time.
Yes.
And keep your fingers crossed for Hal. And yeah, that's it. Happy 300 episodes, Hector.
Yes. Happy 3. We have 2 super chats that I forgot to get to. My guy Chris K with a $5 super chat. A Yankees jersey will look better on Soto when he's drinking Cialis. Just saying. Absolutely, CK. And then Frankie Bag of Donuts, my guy Frankie Bagger, said it's going to cost a lot to re-sign Soto. The Yankees can't stop at that one signing. They also need to sign Walker, Scott, Snell, and trade for McMahon. You know what, Frankie Bag of Donuts? I'm going to leave this right there because Frankie Bag of Donuts is dropping the knowledge for the chat. Again, shout out to everybody who came through. My Tecayo, my guy Heck, appreciate you, brother. Anthony Medina, mi hermano de la isla, appreciate you. TC Stills, my good brother, my guy, Pots and Pans. Chris Charlton was in the building. Anthony Ribeiro was in the building. Kevin NYC85, my guy Li Yankee King. The only troll in the Yankee universe I acknowledge is my guy Li Yankee King. I don't care how mad Rara gets at him. Shout out to my guy. Shout out to Rara as well in the chat. Rara, hope all is well with the family. Wish you a blessed Thursday. Shout out to you as well. Again, always rocking out with us. Rara, appreciate you. Family. Kenneth Taylor was in the building. Shout out to Kenneth Taylor as well. Sean Browning was in the building. Thomas DeLaus was in the building. John O'Neill, Barbario T was in the building. Appreciate all of you guys. Like Grace said, make sure you guys stay with family. Family is important, right? Take time to just reflect on just your mental health. Make sure you drink some water. Make sure you stay hydrated. Make sure you say something positive about yourself. And like always, until next time, I'm Hector.
I'm Grace Monroe.
This is Yankees Morning Brew. We appreciate everybody rocking out with us. And until next time, deuces.
You fought well yesterday. Your style is unorthodox.